Is it a good idea to buy a Rolex from a pawn shop? Hi, welcome. ExceptionalTiming.com is here to help you choose the perfect watch for you. Rolex watches are a sign of luxury, craftsmanship, and innovation. That's why they can be priced anywhere from $5,500 to tens of millions of dollars. Since Rolex watches don't come with an affordable price tag for most people's budgets, you might be wondering if you can save some cash by purchasing a Rolex at a pawn shop. Not many pawn shops have genuine Rolex watches in store, but purchasing one of these high-end watches from this type of business can be a good idea with some customer discretion. Customers need to ensure that the Rolex is genuine before making the purchase. Buying a Rolex at a pawn shop can be a good idea, but it comes down to how diligent the purchaser is. There are definitely some tips and tricks to finding a genuine Rolex from a pawn shop, so take a look at the advice for finding one of these luxurious watches for a much lower cost. Finding a genuine Rolex watch. Genuine Rolex watches are extremely high in demand, yet rare, which is why they come with such a hefty price tag. However, just like anything else that is luxurious and sought after, there are many different knockoffs and dupes. According to Business Insider, Rolex watches are the most counterfeited watch brands. So, how can you ensure that you're getting the real thing from a pawn shop? Most people might warn you that you shouldn't purchase high-end jewelry or watches from a pawn shop if you are inexperienced with watches. However, if you take a look at the tips below, you will be more knowledgeable about watches on your next pawn shop trip. When it comes to counterfeit Rolexes, some dupes are hard to decipher between a real Rolex and a fake one, while other watches are blatantly non-genuine. When looking for the specific model that you want, be sure to do some research before purchasing the watch from a pawn shop. There are various models such as the classic Cellini, the graceful Lady Datejust, and many more. It's important to keep in mind that since there are so many different Rolex collections, not all of them have the same features. This can make it more difficult when looking for a Rolex watch in a pawn shop. This is why it is so crucial to do your research on Rolex's website before heading over to the secondhand store. Be sure to head over to Rolex's official website to browse their elegant watch collections. While looking at the official Rolex collections, be sure to carefully examine the details of the watch. Low-quality counterfeits will not have accurate details, which is how you can spot the differences when comparing a real to a fake Rolex watch. However, there are some dupes that have accuracy down to the very minor details of the watch. One of the first minor details you should watch for is the way the second hand moves around the clock face. Are there stutters or pauses, or does the hand smoothly rotate around the watch face? If the clockwork is running smoothly without any stutters or pauses, then it might be a genuine. If not, the watch is almost certainly a counterfeit. Also, put your ear toward the hands of the watch. Since a genuine Rolex runs smoothly, there shouldn't be any ticking sounds. If so, then you will know this is not a true Rolex. Rolex watches are often so expensive due to the materials they are made out of. Whether they are made out of gold, silver, or other fine metals, Rolexes are known to be on the heavier side. If the watch feels light, then it is most likely not the real thing. With high quality materials come high prices, so even if you're shopping at a pawn shop, you should still expect to spend quite a bit of money. Another feature to look out for is the date on the watch. The Cyclops lens is magnified, which is extremely hard to replicate. If the date is not magnified at all, then it indicates that the watch is a fake. Most of the time, pawn shops won't have genuine Rolexes. Finding one would be an extremely rare find, but it could happen. Just be sure to use the above tips when looking at watches in the pawn shop. Which pawn shops might have Rolex watches? Very few pawn shops will have genuine watches. These watches are a rare commodity and often aren't given up by their owners. However, to every rule, there are exceptions. If you're going to go to a pawn shop for a Rolex, go to locations that are near affluent neighborhoods. You're more likely to find a real Rolex in this type of location. When shopping around for a used Rolex, chances are that you will not find a real Rolex on your first trip. Items are constantly being bought and sold from pawn shops, so be sure to check out different shops at different times so that you don't miss out on anything. It could take you a while to find what you're looking for, but one day you might be able to find a genuine Rolex watch. Are there any quality Rolex dupes or knockoffs? If you're looking to buy a watch that looks as nice as a Rolex, but you aren't prepared to drop thousands of dollars, there are many other watch brands that are high quality and don't cost as much. Buying a dupe or knockoff isn't the best idea since you might pay much more than the value of the counterfeit Rolex. So if you're shopping around for a new watch, here are some other quality brands that you can look for while in a pawn shop. Michael Kors, Timex, Seiko, Casio. Of course, be sure to do some research on these brands' official websites before purchasing them from a pawn shop. These watch brands aren't as luxurious as Rolex, but they are made out of high quality items and can be great fashion statements too. Please like and subscribe on YouTube to ensure you find our other videos, and explore further articles at exceptionaltiming.com.